Imagine betting against this guy, Elon Musk, reminding the world today, I never give up. Never. XAI, by Musk's own admission, starting to fall a little behind the industry leaders. He posted this today. SpaceX AI Colossus 2 now has 7 models in training. Imagine version 2, 2 variants of 1T, 2 variants of 1.5T, 6T, and 10T. Some catching up to do. If you're wondering what the T's mean, they're talking about trillions of parameters. Musk pointing out today that Grok 4.2, the current latest version that people can actually use, is currently running after being trained with a 500 billion parameter model. That means that 10T, which is currently in training, 20 times the parameters of the latest version of Grok. And now onto one of my favorite subjects, autonomy in particular. Tesla's massive advantage over to ARK Invest.
Large-scale implementation that consumers will see of embodied AI, and it's already happening today. So we already have cars on the road that have no one behind the wheel, no one in the passenger seat, that are picking up passengers and ferrying them around. We think that, of the players that are out there, one thing that's very important here is actually the underlying cost of the car. It's particularly important in the early days of commercialization, because when you have a small fleet and you're trying to expand that fleet, and you're trying to convince partners to work with you here, the cost of the car really matters. But it also matters for the cost per mile. And the cost per mile is what we think will really drive demand here for this technology and this innovation. So if you look at, Tesla versus Waymo, for instance, we're already seeing that, the Model Y compared to the 5th generation Waymo car on an incremental cost per mile basis is over 30% cheaper. We expect that advantage to only increase with the upcoming models. So if you look at the Cybercab versus the 6th gen Waymo car, we expect that to be a 50% cost advantage. So again, that's incredibly important in the early days when you're scaling your platform. But it's also important, to price these platforms competitively for consumers. And speaking of price, so the lowest possible price that we think that a Robotaxi platform could charge at scale is around 25 cents per mile. To put that in perspective, it's less than a tenth of the cost of human-driven ride-hail in Western markets. It's less than half of the cost of driving your personal car. And it's also cheaper than ride-hail in China, which is already very inexpensive at around 50 cents per mile in equivalent. So we think that reduction in cost will enable a great expansion of the current ride-hail market that we see today. It'll make low-cost point-to-point travel available to many more people than currently choose to access it. And ultimately, it'll make our roads a lot safer. But we also believe there's an incredible market potential here.
Just wanted to jump in and draw a few parallels between what's happening with Tesla and autonomy and the massive cost advantage and SpaceX. We're in this current transition period where Tesla's still very slowly and safely and hyper cautiously rolling out their robotaxis, currently operating in Austin and San Francisco, but only unsupervised in Austin and only a portion of their fleet. Many still suggesting Waymo's well ahead of Tesla, but failing to recognize the big picture, which ARK were just discussing about autonomy. Cost per mile. Tesla with a massive cost advantage here, people not recognizing it. Imagine if SpaceX were a publicly traded company back in 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. The narrative at the time, by the way, 2015 was the first time that they re-landed an orbital class booster for the first time, dramatically lowering the cost to get payloads to orbit. Hint, hint, massive cost advantage. At the time, the narrative, even after they'd landed their first booster, demonstrating this massive advantage, the narrative would have been SpaceX is way behind the rest of the launch industry. Look how many more launches the rest of the world combined is doing versus SpaceX. Of course, fast forward to today, SpaceX is launching almost all of the world's payload to orbit. Why? They have massive scale and a massive cost advantage. Hence, they get the vast majority of the business. Just as SpaceX has gone on to not only capture the majority of the global launch industry, but massively expand the global launch industry, and they're not done. The same is likely to happen with Tesla scaling up autonomy as well. Tasha was pointing out that at scale, long term, using a robotaxi is going to be both cheaper than ride-hail is today, human-driven, but also cheaper than personal vehicle ownership. There's going to be a massive cost advantage to using transport as a service as opposed to personally owning vehicles. This is big. At this point, it doesn't seem like investors have really figured out Tesla's massive cost advantage here is going to lead to a massive dominant market position and, importantly, the lion's share of the profits in autonomy. But again, I refer you to what SpaceX has done, another extremely challenging engineering problem, which they've now scaled up, massive cost advantage, massive scale, no competition.
So we think that robotaxis, by the end of the decade, could generate $34 trillion in enterprise value opportunity. And we think that will accrue to what we're calling the autonomous technology providers or the platform operators. These are the companies that are developing the autonomous technology, what actually drives the car in-house. They can offer this, again, through a ride-hailing service, a robotaxi service. And, Kathy mentioned we think this is also one of the largest revenue opportunities out there. So the total TAM for revenue for robotaxis we think could be $10 trillion or above. By the end of the decade, we think revenue and earnings here could be around $2 trillion.
Based on Tesla's current market cap, safe to say that the vast majority of investors either don't believe that the opportunity is even close to this large, or if it is, Tesla's likely share of this is going to be a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of what I personally expect. Of course, I'm just a deluded Tesla fanboy. It's not like any Musk-led engineering efforts have developed a dominant market share in any other industries. So let's move on to a totally unrelated subject, SpaceX and their massive cost advantage.
Usability is really opening up the space economy, and 2025 marked really a notable year with annual up mass to orbit reaching all-time highs, and this is largely thanks to SpaceX. So SpaceX currently today has over 9,000 active Starlink satellites orbiting Earth today, and that represents over 2/3 of the satellites up there. And really why they have this dominance is because of their 10-year lead on the industry. And well, what do I mean by that? Well, in 2015, SpaceX landed its first orbital class booster. It's executed almost perfectly on partial reusability since, and its closest competitor has just landed its booster towards the end of last year. So while other companies are getting to grips with partial reusability, SpaceX is full steam ahead on full reusability, and that really translates to declining launch costs. So key to ARC's research is the concept of Wright's Law. So in the concept or in the context of launch costs, Wright's Law states that for every cumulative doubling of up mass to orbit, so kilograms, launch costs is declining by 17%. And SpaceX has demonstrated that with their Falcon 9 rocket to date. According to our research, we estimate they've cut launch costs by roughly 95% since 2008. The consequence of that is it opens up many, many opportunities in the space age. So including orbital data centers, which Brett spoke about earlier, as well as in the tone of convergence, zero gravity testing for medical, which advances a lot of the multi-omics space we talked about. And really, that's just today where it's at $1,000 per kilogram. And according to our research, when SpaceX executes on a full rocket, a fully reusable rocket, which is its Starship rocket, we think that could extend to sub $100 per kilogram. And that's really where the orbital data center conversation gets very exciting. And I know Brett's done a lot of research on it. And at that scale point, we think orbital data centers could be 25% cheaper than terrestrial compute. But it's a bit of a journey there, and we're excited to monitor Starship's progress this year.
It's incredible to hear a 95% cost reduction in mass to orbit since 2008. And because of that, it's enabled Starlink. Will soon enable orbital data centers. So, incredible engineering, brilliant execution, rapid innovation, a willingness to take risks. The end result, put this on loop, given enough time, a Musk-led engineering effort, forms an unassailable lead, takes a lion's share of the market, enables new opportunities, massively expands the market, and wins. I will add, in totally unrelated matters of course, that no one is even attempting to catch up to Tesla autonomy. No one is attempting a generalized solution with vision only, vertically integrated manufacturing the hardware, aka Cybercab. No one's even in the race. I just get the feeling in the future people are going to look back and go, how could anyone possibly have seen Tesla's absolute dominance in autonomy? It wasn't obvious, it wasn't inevitable. There wasn't a clearly lit path between where they were, let's just say, in 2026 and where they are now, absolutely dominating. And remember, this guy never gives up. Want more content? Early access? A bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 has been part of my daily health protocol for almost half a decade. It's packed full of vitamins and minerals and helps me fill in nutritional gaps while supporting energy, digestion, and immune function. It also has prebiotics and probiotics to promote gut health. I take my health very seriously, and so should you. Try AG1 today by visiting drinkag1.com/SMR or click the link in the pinned comment and enjoy a free welcome kit with vitamin D3 plus K2 and AG1 travel packs. That's drinkag1.com/SMR.